Kyle Austin, Mike Griffith from MLive.com here after our weekly Ohio State press conference here at Michigan State. And Mike, we talked a lot today. What did you take away?
Wow. Well, I thought Twan Jones was pretty interesting. Every time Twan Jones is engaged and cares about a game, he usually plays pretty good. And today he seemed to really care. When it was suggested to him that Ohio State's not a rivalry, he said there's enough guys from Ohio on this team that they do care. And Ohio State doesn't have to treat it like a rivalry, but that's how Michigan State's going to treat it. He also said that he's going to treat this like a playoff game. So while everybody else is trying to hush down one game at a time, Twan's point is we'll take it one game at a time, but this is a playoff game because if you lose, your chances go down drastically to make it. So pretty strong approach from Twan Jones today.
And I think the media said finally somebody admits that, basically.
Right.
Because that's the truth. And whether or not they want to admit it, this is a playoff game for them. So, to me, it was refreshing to hear a player actually come out and say that. But it's true.
Now, speaking of refreshing, I don't know if this is refreshing or, I guess it's a good thing Braxton Miller isn't playing because Twan Jones said he thinks J.T. Barrett is way better than Braxton Miller in this offense. What did you make about Twan's comments there?
Well, it was kind of an inside football sort of thing. He said that he did say that Braxton's a better athlete, but he said as a quarterback in Urban Meyer's system, that J.T. Barrett is better, which, if you think about it, is probably true. But I think a lot of people will look at it on its face and probably not put the appropriate context.
I don't think Twan really cares, by the way.
I don't think he does either. But, when he said that, I think everybody kind of did a double take and said, oh, really? Definitely an interesting comment there. Getting back to the rivalry, this kind of started yesterday. Urban Meyer was asked if this is becoming a rivalry, and he said, we have one rival, which is Michigan. And Mark Antonio, who usually doesn't like this kind of talk, and said, well, we have two rivals. We have Michigan and we have Notre Dame, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know where Mark Antonio plays. Technically, Notre Dame is a rival, but they're going to play them, once in the next 4 or 5 years?
Right. But, it's kind of weird. They'll say they're not rivals, but so many kids from Ohio. This game means more. In the States, this game means more.
Well, you got 27 players on the Michigan State team from Ohio, 10 starters. Mm-hmm. So almost half your starting lineup is from there, and most of those guys didn't get a scholarship offer, and they remember that. Surely they remember that. So, Connor Cook chief among them. Connor's the best at playing the no respect card, but It's gotten laughable now that Ohio State didn't send him a recruiting letter. So that was last year's script. Now Connor's script is how much respect there is and how cool the Ohio State guys are. And I guess if I was the quarterback and Joey Bosa was going to be coming after me in a few days, I'd probably try and say that they were really cool guys too.
Yeah.
Twan, on the other hand, I don't think he really cares what Ohio State thinks.
Obviously, got big game on Saturday, and this has been a really good matchup these last couple of years. And, 45 points apiece these offenses. Is this going to be a little different, you think, as far as the amount of scoring we might see on Saturday?
Well, I'll be honest, Kyle. I think the weather could play a factor. The early forecast, it's Michigan and it's November, but I think I've seen 30 degrees, wet. We saw what happened with an 18-mile-an-hour wind against Michigan. I kind of wonder if this is going to turn into kind of a smash-mouth game. I think the bad weather probably actually helps Ohio State because Michigan State's passing game is, I think, better than Ohio State's. So I think that might neutralize Connor Cook in the pass game, and it means that Michigan State's going to have to lean on Jeremy Langford a little bit. And today, I don't know, he sounded like he had a cold or something. He's got plenty of time to get better. I don't want to scare anybody, but he looked like he was having trouble breathing up here and his nose was plugged up.
All right, well, that'll do it for today. We'll see you Saturday from Spartan Stadium.